What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vend Talk, brought to you by Vend Guys. This is episode 3. I'm Zig, your host, with our host Kashief and Donald, and we are here with Taylor. She's our second guest of the podcast. We'll jump right into it. Taylor, tell us about how long have you been doing vending? How many locations do you have, and what is your monthly revenue?
I have been doing vending since May. I have 8 locations currently. I'm installing my 9th location in January, and then my 10th location next spring. My gross monthly right now at 8 locations is around $7,000 a month.
Good. So I want to know everything about how you got started in vending. Like, tell us from the start. What made you get into this?
So actually, I'm a pharmacist. I'm really big into eating healthy, and I found a niche. It's having healthier options in vending machines. I've always wanted to do them, but it's hard to get into it. So I found something different in our area, and it's providing healthier options to their employees. So I started with my first location that was actually at my husband's job. And right before we installed our first one, they had called me and they were like, "Hey, actually, can you install one at our manufacturing facility too?" And we said, "Sure." And that's actually turned out to be our highest machine monthly by accident.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to provide healthier options for people, and that was what really got you into this.
Yeah. And everyone always says healthy stuff doesn't sell in the machines, but the idea of it does. When you go to someone and you're like, "Hey, we want to offer healthier options to your employees," they love that idea, even if it doesn't sell. But businesses want to provide healthier options for their employees.
So out of you said 8 locations, correct?
hmm
And now are all 8 of those locations you're providing only healthy options, or is it like kind of a mix?
It's a mixture. We have both, and we have gluten-free, dairy-free, and we have junk food too, like Doritos and Cheetos. But we are able to provide options that, like Canteen, that's our biggest competitor, provide options that they can't
Correct, yeah. And
or don't.
how would you say that? Are you proving that the healthy snacks don't sell wrong, or are you seeing?
They just don't sell as fast. They do sell. It depends on the location too. So healthier stuff sells better in a corporate office, not a manufacturing facility. But it still sells. I mean, and they like having that idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I sell, we have some protein options in all of our vending machines, and they all sell at some point.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just like that idea of we can do something better for employees that gets our foot in the door.
Absolutely. Yeah. How are you telling them that you can provide that versus what they already have? What's different about your operation that gives you the ability to provide those healthy options that?
So with our first location, actually, it's where my husband works. I actually called them and said, "Hey, I want to do this and I want to offer healthier options." And the lady I spoke to, she actually said, "Well, what do you charge for you, for us to have you here?" And I said, "Nothing." And she was like, "Wow, that's amazing. I've been looking for a company to come in here to offer healthier options and everyone wants to charge us." And I said, "Well, I'm free." And that's how we got in there. And now it's just word of mouth.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is what is it that you're doing to get all of these locations?
Yeah, it's just word of mouth. And now I have schools waiting and I can't handle it, but I'll add them, just take some time. So our location we're installing in the spring, it's a micro market. It's our first micro market, and they are very big into the healthier options. They actually pay their employees weekly if they meet a certain amount of steps per week. So they're really big into that. And then we have partnered with Factor Meals, and they are willing to cover 100% of spoilage of all of those kinds of items.
That's
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
huge.
crazy.
Yeah, let's get into that a
About
little
which
bit more.
part?
How did you get into that? How did you get them to agree to do that?
They offered.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, it was crazy. I offered to cover spoilage of 2.5 to 3% of everything, and they agreed. Well, we'll cover spoilage 100% on all like the premium items like salads, sandwiches, wraps, factor meals, anything that expires fast. because they want that. They want it there for their employees.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thing, and we talked in a previous episode about, I have a location that actually pays me to have our machine in the building, and
Hmm.
it's something that to kind of think about for people getting into it, to maybe ask a location, if you want this, are you willing to do that?
Yeah, or like a minimum monthly sales. Now that has crossed my mind, but when you're starting out, all you want is that first yes.
Yes, yeah,
So you don't
absolutely.
like you don't think about contracts, you don't think about someone paying you because you just want that first yes to get
Yeah,
in.
that's a fact. All right, so hold on one second.
I have a question. I have a few questions. So I want to ask you, like, what made you like? Not even that. But I'm gonna ask something else. So when you approached the job, right? I think a lot of people, who are looking to get into the business are looking for their first, entry point. And since obviously everybody's starting out with a job and whatnot, a lot of people I feel like that's kind of a scary entry point, or it might be a conflict of interest there. What was your approach to get into the workspace where your husband was at without making it like any conflict of interest or, any issue?
It's just his like corporate office. He's not in there. He doesn't go into the corporate building or the manufacturing building. He travels. So there wasn't really a conflict.
Interesting. Hey, question. You did say that you were a pharmacist as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so let me ask you this. So how is it managing like your vending machine business as well as like working the job? Because I know some people might
Well,
be like,
yeah. In the beginning, it was easy because I just had two places. Now it's every morning on my way to work, I'm stocking or shopping on my lunch break or after work going. I don't know at what point I would hire somebody though. I don't know, but I'm doing it and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Okay, what kind of equipment are you using?
I
Like,
have
what's your
all of
go-to?
the ha-has. They're awesome. I love them.
So what
And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
I
I love
mean,
the
you
ha-has
can't
too.
beat
So
it.
what do you love about them? Like, what makes you love the ha-has? Like, why do you feel like I really like these machines?
Nothing gets stuck. There's no cash. You can put literally anything in it. I mean, a traditional vending machine, things get stuck and you can only put so many items in it and it's not refrigerated. Like you can put anything in the ha-has.
well, I know that you said that you're going to be on your 10th location by springtime of next
Hmm.
year.
Hmm.
How long have you been in the business? Because most people like they can't even get like their first location. They've been looking for years. How many years have you been doing vending for?
I started this May, so it's grown. Well, we're in a weird area. It's very small, and I don't know. It's like small town. It's all about who you know, and word of mouth travels very fast where we are. But yeah, placed our first two in May, and now we'll be on our 10th in next year.
Are you finding that you're placing these in areas that or places that already have vending machines and you're replacing somebody else's? Or
Hmm.
are you the first vending machine they've ever had?
Yeah, we kick canteen out. People want to go with us.
I love to hear that. That is awesome.
Yeah. We're at the in January, we are placing 5 machines at a business who's had canteen for 30 years.
Oh my gosh. And you're doing
Yeah.
all 5 ha-has.
Yep.
That's amazing. What kind of location is it?
It is a manufacturing facility.
It's in a manufacturing facility
Yeah.
and do really well. Kashief, you had a question or something to say?
Yeah. So I was just asking, why do you think people are choosing, you over canteen? Like, what's the it factor that's making them say, hey, we need to switch?
So for this place, for example, they were charging $4.75 for a small Celsius and like $3.50 for Sun Chips. So our prices are always better than canteens. And two, canteen does not customize like we do. We put in the machine what they want. It's not what we want. I try things. I'm always trying new things and different things. But it ultimately comes down to we're placing stuff in it that they want. I know people were requesting healthier options with canteen and they put it in there and then slowly took it out. I don't know if it wasn't selling or they just didn't have the right healthy options, but we always have healthy options in it. And times are changing. People are starting to want to be healthy and not eat junk food.
Right. So my other question is, you spoke on price points, so what are some of the price points for the healthy items? We know the price points, like the typical price points for the chips and the candy and different things like that. Since your like main focus is healthy items, like what are some of your price points for your, some of the stuff that you're selling?
So like a salad is $6.25. Pickles are $2.25. Factor meals, normally people sell them for $14.95. That's a little high where we are. So I do $11.95. And again, people could go to Chick-fil-A
What is your
and
cost on those?
factor meals are $9.
Okay, and you're charging 11, you said?
$11.95.
Okay,
I tried $14.95, but they weren't moving as fast.
got it.
Brain fart.
I need to look into the factor meals.
Yeah, and the nice thing about those is if they're about to expire, I go in there and that's my lunch for the day. So they don't go to waste.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
And they factor meals, what? Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know what I was saying. You know, you could go to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or wherever and spend the same amount, but do you want healthy or do you not want healthy? You know?
You got
So it
healthy
depends
right
on
here. You don't even have to go anywhere, and you're getting a healthier option rather than going and
right. And
driving to a
Factor also makes cold pressed juices now and protein shakes. The protein shakes are $6. Costs on those are $3.95. And then we have different kind of protein bars.
What is the shelf
Yeah,
like
like
on those types of things?
yeah, the Factor meals are 9 days.
Okay.
Their protein shakes are like 60 days. Their cold pressed juices are around that. Salads are harder, but I work relatively close to all of my locations. So it's not like I'm going to get a salad and then driving an hour and then, you know, it's expiring and I have to go pull it. I'm sure you guys know salads are good for like 3 to 4 days. We do the wraps from Aldi. People love those Italian wraps or subs, sandwiches. Yeah.
What's your best selling item?
My best selling item is the White Monster Ultra.
That's number 2 for us. Pepsi's number 1.
Really? We don't have Pepsi.
Yeah, we have Pepsi. Pepsi, 16-ounce bottles. It's number 1.
We just started selling bottles. We've actually always done cans for $1.50. People love cans.
People do love cans, but I feel like it's more profitable to sell the bottles.
It is.
So I
Yeah,
stick to the bottles. The cans would be easier to store too.
they are because you can stack them.
Yeah, but
Yep.
my head goes straight to profits, and I'm like, I got to do that.
hmm
If you give us one big mistake that you may have made early on in vending. I mean, you're still early, so
I already know what it is. I think about it all the time. So our second location, again, not thinking about contracts, you know, just trying to get in, was another manufacturing facility and they had 2 buildings. And I had told them they needed to remove their other vending machines. And they said, okay, we're going to remove them. We order your machines, get them in. So we did. That was in August. And I've been sending emails every month since saying, hey, when are you removing your vending machines? You know, like you said you were. And then actually last week or the week before, they had said, hey, actually, we're going to stick with our other machines. So, but I have 2 machines to place at my location I'm installing in January. So it works out. But if it didn't, you know, that sucks. So
yeah.
get a contract. Now I know to do that, or at least have their machines removed before install.
Yeah, the contract thing, people go back and forth on that online from what I've seen. And just from my other business that I own, I always felt the contracts were smart to have. And I realized that, like, at the end of the day, they're not probably ironclad, but it gives whether it's ironclad or not, or it's going to, people are like, it'll never hold up in court or whatever. It still gives the other person that, I don't even know the words to put, how to say this right. But if I have a contract with somebody, it's a framework, and I'm going to
Yeah.
tend to stick to that regardless, but if there's nothing in place, I'm just going to say, you know what, I'm going to stick with my other machines. There's no reason why I'm going to stay with you. I think contracts are very smart to do, and they're
Yeah.
easy too. You can use ChatGPT to write one up.
That's what we did. The one we're installing in January, then the micro market, we used ChatGPT to make that contract.
When you say micro market, do you mean like an open market where like there's like a kiosk somewhere, or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And they're paying for everything, like all the shelving, because they want it to match their aesthetic.
Okay.
So all we have to pay for is the fridge and the kiosk, which is crazy. I thought we'd have to pay for the whole
You
thing.
are finding some great deals. You are.
I know.
Yeah,
You are
It's funny
finding some
because
great deals.
I remember calling and I was like, remember that place I was trying to get? And the other one, well, they both just called me back today and they both said yes.
Yeah, because those micro markets are expensive to set up. I've spent up to like 15,000 setting up, a
Yeah,
micro.
That's what I thought I'd be spending, but they're paying for most of it other than the fridge and the kiosk.
That's great. So let me ask, like, what's your? So I know you have a good operation going now. What's your like long term goal for this business? Like, are you looking to take it to the sky? You just trying to do it, keep it high, like in the same like kind of frame that you have it. Like, what's your end goal?
We wanna be better than Canteen locally. Like, I'm on the Eastern Shore in Maryland, so we want to grow where we are, not outside of our region.
You want to kick Canteen out of the shore.
Yeah.
I think it's great to hear that because, especially for people who are listening, or even myself as a new operator, one of the things that can be daunting, in my opinion, about getting into the vending machine business is everywhere I go, there's already a vending machine there. So why would anybody want me to put a vending machine in? So I think some people kind of get turned off to it from that, but you're a prime example of it. You kicked out one of the, I'm assuming Canteen's probably the biggest there is
Mhm.
out there. And here you are, this very small company kicking them out of locations and taking over,
Yeah.
and you're probably, I would say you might even be doing better at those locations than they were because you're giving the people more of what they want.
Yeah, and, actually last week, we had to take my son to the emergency room, and the vending machine wasn't working. It was a Canteen one, and I made sure to tell them, I said, "If you had mine in here, they'd be working, and if not, I'd be right here making them work."
I love it. That's amazing.
Yeah. And to touch on that too, I think, anybody that's just coming into the business, I think a lot of people get discouraged at exactly what Zig just said. Like they don't want to compete against those bigger companies because they feel like they can't win. And I think you're the perfect example of showing, you can win because at the end of the day, your advantage is you can do what they can't, right? You
Right.
could you could focus on them and give them exactly what they want, whereas though those bigger companies don't necessarily always do that. So
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
and
a very important
actually
point.
where location that we're replacing Canteen, I remember one thing that I said to the lady who makes that decision after my first meeting with her. I said, everyone wants to use Canteen, this big multi-million dollar, probably billion-dollar business. And no one wants to give like the small person a chance. And she was like, "Yeah, you're right. Worst that could happen is you don't like some of the products and I change it and put what you want." Because I beat their prices and I beat their customer service.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, exactly. That's the worst that can happen. So they're gonna win either way.
Hmm.
So I want to touch on your product a little bit because I know you're using the ha coolers, right?
Hmm.
That's main thing that you're using, right? We all love the ha-has. The inventory with the ha-has is typically a little different because you're using, healthy food items. Where are you? I know you mentioned like a few spots, but where are you like getting all of your product from?
Sam's Club, Walmart, Aldi, and then I get a lot of my like items that you can't find at those places, like that you'd find at like a farmer's market from Sam. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I have a lot of the same products, but there's some definitely stuff in here that I've never tried.
Yeah, I never saw.
Uh,
And this is
Look at some of the stuff.
Those little hummus and pretzel things, people love those. The guacamole with the little chips, people love those. Yogurt. Trying to think what
that's
else
pretty
is in
cool.
there.
You're selling some really interesting stuff in these coolers, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's like really utilizing the.
Yeah. Peanuts.
You know,
Peanuts aren't bad
let
for
me,
you.
question,
Those
Taylor.
are, yes.
So I saw because I look at like a lot of coolers and like there's some people that like they get like snacks depending on like their demographic of people, right? So I saw like a cooler like they got like Armenian snacks, they got like different types of things. So it's cool that you're like putting like these specific snacks for people that they don't usually see at their local store and stuff.
Right, yeah. We do the jerky, but we do Righteous Felon, the bags of jerky and the sticks, and people love that. It's like a good jerky. I eat it.
What is, because I would imagine the profit margins might be a little bit different with selling more items like that. So what does your profit margins look like across the board with your locations?
Well, we try to do times two. I mean, factor meals, obviously, we don't.
Yeah, right.
Like the protein shakes, we don't. But most things are times two. The jerky's not because that's 350 and we sell that at like 625. So it's almost times two.
All right. And then I have a question in terms of growth, right? Like, so you've grown, pretty fast here, for the time frame that you've been in business. And you said that's mostly like word of mouth. Are there any other strategies that you're using or that you would recommend to, somebody just getting started in terms of like how to find these locations? Because you've had some success with, using your methods that you've been using. That's been working for
Yeah,
you.
I mean, don't be shy. The worst someone can say is no, and you say, "Okay, well, I'll check back in a few months." I mean, just do it. It's not it sounds scary, if you're a shy person or you're worried
Oh.
you're going to get turned away, but that's only going to make you grow.
What are you approaching them with? Are you like, do you have a proposal? Are you going with like some of the samples of the healthy products? Like, because obviously you're selling different things. Like, so are you bringing some of that stuff with you when you're meeting these locations, or
No,
how is that look?
never gone in person to meet anyone. It's always on the phone or email, and it's by word of mouth. Like the one that I'm removing the 2 machines from, that was word of mouth. My shred it guy, the one who like shreds HIPAA information, his wife had worked there, and he was like, "I'm going to tell my wife about your vending machine business." And we got a call, and they were like, "Hey, we want to use you guys."
That's what's up.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, no, definitely. We have a question for you also. So like, are you doing, for example, for me, right? I use social media, right? I use social media to kind of like make money on top of my vending machine business, on top of like the revenue that I'm making from my vending machine business. I know people that like they wrap their vending machines up and they charge the company whatever the wrapping of that vending machine is. Are you doing anything outside of just selling the snacks and drinks inside your vending machine to make money with your vending machine business?
No, I would like to, but I'm not very good at social media.
Not just
But
social media, like anything. I know, like there's some people that they rent out their rolls in their vending machine, like they're just any different thing. Like,
no,
I think
that's a
some of
good
those
idea though.
the fancy ha-has have the display up top, right? Now, I don't have any of the fancy ones.
I
I
don't
have
either.
the regular ones, but I think
I
some
really
of
like
those have
those.
the display up top, right?
So
Mm,
haha has come. So haha has had it before, but it didn't really work, and they redid it and made it better. And they're releasing them now where they have like the digital display on the top of the machine, so that you can sell advertisement. Or, I mean, I guess you could really do whatever you want up there. I think it would be another way to make revenue, depending on the location that you're at. You can sell ad space in it. The barbershop I go to has literally just a wall mounted like screen that he sells ad space on for people who are sitting there. So it's the same kind of concept.
You go to a barber shop?
My That's actually funny. No, I take my I take my son. I like that you called me out on that. No, I take my son to the barber shop. Yeah, yeah. No, I have a 6-year-old who has a full head of hair.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good I think that I like that model. I really kind of want to get into one of those. Those are cool.
Yeah,
Are
that's a good one.
Let me ask you this.
We live near Ocean City, Maryland. It's very seasonal, but that'd be a good one for those places to advertise.
Are you is your model what you want to do here is stick with the haha smart vending coolers, or are you
Yes.
willing to go venture out to other ones? Nope.
No, not right now. I mean, no.
So I'm in the
I like
same
the
boat as
haha.
you. That's the kind of the business models. I just want to do start smart vending machines, and I have people tell me that that's stupid, and some people say it'll work. I mean, it's working so far. So we don't have any vision of buying any other kinds of vending machines except for these.
Yeah, I think the traditional vending machines have too many moving parts for a lot of people who don't have the time to, go there all the time if something's getting stuck or if something's not working or the change or the dollar's getting stuck. It's too many moving
And
parts.
that's not to say that those don't work and they don't do very well still. I just don't want to deal with them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I personally feel like that's the ha-has and the small coolers are the future, of the vending machine. But I think they'll continue to evolve. Maybe not the exact form, they model that they are right now. I think they'll continue to evolve, and sooner or later, as the years goes on, the traditional vending machine will kind of be
Phased out.
out, and then somewhat some type of format of the smart coolers will be the new standard
Right.
of the vending machine in some shape or form.
What so you're a pharmacist, so I just want to like give me a I'm a full-time firefighter, and I have my reasons why I did this as well, but as a pharmacist, what is your why? What is the reason that you decided to do this on top of your job as a pharmacist?
Yeah. Well, we're always talking about eating healthy, and it's never accessible to people like you would think. Most vending machines are junk food. I mean, people are surrounded by vending machines at work, at school, and it's all junk food. So I was like, what if we did a healthy vending machine and it was more accessible to people and, change people's lives? That all it takes is for it to be there,
Yeah.
like, maybe I'll grab this water. And not a lot of vending machines have water, or maybe I'll grab this protein shake instead of a bag of Doritos today.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is the one. It just needs to be there in front of somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's hard for people to eat healthy too.
It definitely is. I mean, we sell way less healthy stuff in our manufacturing plant than we do in our other locations, but they
Yes,
still buy
me
them.
too.
They still buy the protein bars. We have one in an ambulance station, and they really like the protein snacks. They did.
Hmm.
That stuff does very well there. So my next question would be, what would you say your best items or resources have been for your success in the last 7 months that you've been doing this?
My best items, like in the machine?
No, your resources. Like, what are the resources that you've been using to continue your success, if any?
None. I'm so lucky. It's really just been word of mouth.
Yeah.
It's a small town, so it's all about who you know.
Yeah, right. That's amazing that you're not, you're getting these locations without having to go bang on doors.
Yeah, I say it all the time that we've been really lucky with this.
So I have a question. So in terms of the locations that you're getting, like what is the criteria that you're using to kind of determine if you want to, pursue this location or not, or if you want to move forward with this location, even though they want the service, you're looking at these things to try to make sure that it makes sense if you have one.
Yeah, well, so at first I was thinking, we need somewhere with at least 75 employees. But then that our second location, the one where they were like, hey, we put one at our manufacturing facility too, that just changed my whole perspective. They have 25 employees and they do 2,000 a month.
Wow.
So now I'm like, we need manufacturing facilities. That's
Wow.
where it's at, the blue collar workers. All they do is eat and drink
Yeah, that's
energy drink.
interesting. 25 workers and you're doing that's really good.
Yeah, and it was by accident. We weren't even supposed to have that.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
So
So
in
now
terms of
now I look at, yes, we do look at the number of employees, but what kind of work they do. Corporate offices don't do that well. Like the corporate office, our first one, doesn't do as well as their manufacturing facility.
is that like a 24-hour facility, or is it like what's the hours?
No, it's just Monday through Friday. They're there normally like 6 a.m. to 4.
Dang, it's doing 2,000 a month and it's not even open 24/7.
They get busy.
Yeah, and we
They hungry.
had when we placed our machine there, they had a soda machine, a Pepsi machine, and I had reached out and I was like, "What's it gonna take for you guys to remove that and let us put the double door one, which we just installed 2 months ago?" And they were like, "Well, can you put the same drinks?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, the Pepsi guy's coming to remove it next week."
Dang, that's amazing.
Wait,
Mhm.
was that location like attached to another place, like you said, or no?
Yeah, it was attached to our first location, so it was attached to the corporate office, which is another building.
So essentially, the strategy was you go for you talk to the corporate office. Did you place the vending machine inside the corporate office, and then you asked to place another vending machine inside the
No, they
manufacturing?
reached out before we even placed it. They said, "Hey, wait, can you install one at our manufacturing facility too?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure."
Ooh, that's interesting. Okay,
That's such a good that's awesome.
that's a good
So
Yeah,
plan.
because they don't, they're not allowed to leave on their lunch break. So I think they wanted more options other than like chips.
okay, so that's what I was gonna ask next. Is there like stores and stuff nearby that they can go to, but they're not even allowed to leave anyway?
Yeah, there is a 7-Eleven. That's it really within driving distance
But
that you
that's
could
still
get
like a
there and
drive.
back.
Like you have to drive to the. It's not like walking distance.
Yeah.
No, no.
Wow. Perfect. That's a
Nice.
perfect location. Sounds like an amazing location.
Right.
I know, it's crazy.
I don't
And
know that like
yeah,
25 person manufacturing plant would be kind of I'd be nervous to jump into that, but that's good.
I know, I was. And then turns out it's our best one. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's amazing.
And I take good care of them. When we put our machine was down like for a few days when we first got it, and they had already removed their other machine. And I felt so bad. I brought them a bunch of free snacks. I bought them Domino's pizza because, we were newer. I didn't want them to be like, wow, these people suck.
Yeah, right, right. That's good though. I think that's another separating factor between someone like you and Canteen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Canteen's not going to do that.
No, they're not.
Definitely won't. So in terms of commission, are you paying commission to any of
No,
these
I
locations?
love that. Hard,
no,
fast,
and I
no.
will not do that.
Hard, no. Good for you.
Did have a vet clinic. We have one at a 24-hour ER vet. It's a brand new vet. She had asked about commission. I said, we don't do that because we try to beat Canteen prices or other vendors' prices. And if we are paying commission, we'll have to increase our prices. And we agreed on just paying for the electric usage,
Okay. What? What is
which
that
is,
costing?
I don't even know because
Hmm.
she said, wait a few months and then we'll figure it out. Like to see how our machine does first.
Interesting. Okay.
That has to be like super cheap.
Yeah.
How they know how much is your electricity anyway? Like, that's
Right.
I'm just trying to get you on the hook for something.
Yeah.
This
Give
this,
me 30
this a
bucks a
quick
month or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we
$10
bought one of
a
those
month or
like
something.
kilowatt readers we could plug it into to tell us how much
How many?
usage it uses.
Okay.
I haven't plugged it in yet.
We do a commission in one spot, but it's on a sliding scale, and I have it scaled to where it's never gonna hit that sales mark for me to give them commission.
Hmm. Yeah, we did have a meeting with our community college and they wanted 40% commission. And I said, okay, no.
That's insane that they think that they should get 40% of commission that something that they're literally doing nothing for.
Yeah, well, I said how, most people mark up times two. How would someone make a profit? And she said, volume. I was like, okay. Well, they're currently using Pepsi, so Pepsi can afford to do 40% commission.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. All right, well, Taylor, it's been a pleasure having you on. We learned a lot from you. It's very interesting business you have. I think it's very inspiring to new operators out there. Um, we appreciate you coming on, and maybe we'll have you on again in a couple months and see where you've gone.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right.